Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we're about to dive into one of the most explosive political firestorms of the year. Donald Trump just lost his mind after Jamaica and Trinidad dropped a bombshell that could reshape global power dynamics. We're talking about a mineral war, a geopolitical chess move so bold it has the former president screaming into the void. What did these Caribbean nations say that sent Trump into a frenzy? Why is this about to turn the tables in ways Washington never saw coming? Stick around because this isn't just politics. It's a full-blown revolution in the making. The Caribbean power play. Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, two small but strategically powerful nations, just made a move that could redefine global energy and mineral dominance. They announced a massive shift in their mineral export policies, specifically targeting rare earth elements and oil reserves. Resources that the US, China, and Europe are desperately fighting over. And guess what? They're done playing by the old rules. Jamaica's bold mineral revolution, the policy that shook the world. Jamaica, a small but resource-rich Caribbean nation, has just sent shockwaves through the global mining industry with a radical new policy on its mineral exports, particularly bauxite, the key raw material for aluminum production. The Jamaican government has announced nationalization of critical mineral sectors, stricter regulations on foreign mining corporations, a mandatory 50% local ownership requirement in all ventures, compulsory domestic processing of raw bauxite before export. This isn't just a minor policy tweak, it's a full-scale economic rebellion against decades of exploitation by Western corporations, breaking the chains of exploitation. For years, companies like Alcoa and Reynolds have extracted Jamaica's bauxite at dirt-cheap rates, leaving the country with environmental degradation, minimal royalties, and no real industrial development. Jamaica is now saying enough. Under the new system, no more raw exports. Companies must refine bauxite locally, creating jobs and boosting Jamaica's economy. 50% ownership rule. Foreign investors must share control and profits with the Jamaican government. Higher royalties and taxes, ensuring the country actually benefits from its own resources. This is a direct challenge to the neo-colonial extraction model that has dominated global mining for decades. Trump's corporate fury. Why Trump is losing his mind. Donald Trump, a staunch defender of unfettered capitalism, immediately lashed out, calling Jamaica's move economic warfare and threatening sanctions. But why such an extreme reaction? Because this policy directly threatens the profit margins of U.S. mining giants who've long treated Jamaica as a cheap resource colony. Trump's rage proves just how much this stings. The hypocrisy exposed. Trump loves to talk about America first, but when other countries do the same for themselves, he loses it. Critics, mostly Western corporate lobbyists, claim Jamaica is scaring away investors. But the truth? They're finally negotiating from a position of strength. Trinidad's energy revolution. The LNG power play. Trinidad and Tobago, the twin island nation with the largest oil and natural gas reserves in the Caribbean, just made a geopolitical power move that has energy giants fuming. The government announced a 30% hike in export taxes on foreign energy companies, diversion of significant LNG exports away from the U.S. toward Africa and Asia. This isn't just a financial adjustment. It's a strategic declaration of independence from decades of American energy dominance, breaking free from energy colonialism. For years, U.S. shale gas has flooded the market, driving down prices and forcing Trinidad to sell its LNG at rock-bottom rates to American buyers. Now, Trinidad is breaking free by raising taxes on foreign oil and gas firms to capture more revenue, pivoting exports to Africa and Asia, where demand and prices are soaring, demanding better terms from multinational corporations. This shift threatens the profit margins of U.S. energy giants like ExxonMobil and Chevron, who've grown accustomed to dictating terms. The global revolution, a worldwide awakening. What Jamaica and Trinidad are doing is part of a global trend. From Bolivia's lithium nationalization to Indonesia's nickel export bans, developing nations are finally fighting back against resource colonialism. But let's dig deeper into this seismic shift. We're witnessing something unprecedented. A coordinated awakening across the global south. Bolivia shocked the world when it nationalized its lithium reserves, the white gold essential for electric vehicle batteries. President Luis Arce declared that Bolivia would no longer be a raw material exporter, but would build its own battery manufacturing industry. This move sent Tesla and other EV giants scrambling for alternative suppliers. Indonesia banned the export of raw nickel in 2020, forcing companies like Tesla to either build processing plants locally or find other sources. The result? Indonesia's nickel processing industry exploded, creating thousands of jobs and billions in added value that previously went to foreign processors. Saudi Arabia is demanding equity stakes in foreign oil projects, breaking away from the traditional concession model. Algeria is renegotiating gas contracts with Europe for better terms. Chile is considering lithium nationalization. Argentina is tightening control over its vast shale oil reserves. The message is clear. Resource-rich nations are done being bullied. They're taking control of their assets and demanding real partnerships, not extraction deals. The perfect storm of opportunity. Here's why this is a masterstroke of timing. Europe's energy crisis. After cutting off Russian gas, Europe is desperately seeking new suppliers. Countries like Trinidad can now command premium prices instead of accepting whatever American buyers offered. European nations are willing to pay 40 to 60% more than traditional U.S. contracts. Africa's explosive growth. The continent's energy demand is projected to triple by 2040. Countries like Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa are signing long-term contracts at rates that dwarf what Western buyers traditionally paid. This isn't just about oil and gas, it's about becoming energy partners rather than colonial suppliers. Asia's Industrial Revolution 2.0. China and India's combined industrial boom means they're consuming resources at unprecedented rates. Unlike Western buyers who often demanded exclusivity at low prices, Asian markets offer competitive bidding and technology transfer agreements. Green energy demand. The global shift to renewable energy has created insatiable demand for lithium, cobalt, nickel, and rare earth elements. Countries controlling these resources now have unprecedented leverage. They can demand local processing, technology transfer, and equity partnerships. The domino effect. This isn't happening in isolation. These nations are coordinating their strategies. They're sharing playbooks, supporting each other diplomatically, and creating alternative trade networks that bypass traditional Western-dominated systems. The BRICS expansion isn't coincidental. It's providing a platform for resource-rich nations to coordinate their rebellion against extractive colonialism. When one country successfully renegotiates its resource deals, it emboldens others to follow suit. The strategic implications. China's golden opportunity with concern? Here's where it gets really interesting and dangerous for the West. China has been patiently waiting for exactly this moment. While Western companies treated these nations as resource colonies, China was building relationships, offering infrastructure deals, and promising real partnerships. Chinese state-backed firms don't just want to extract resources. They're offering to build entire supply chains locally. When Jamaica demands bauxite processing facilities, China offers to build them. When Trinidad wants LNG processing plants, Chinese companies provide the technology and financing. If U.S. companies refuse to play ball, Chinese state-backed firms are ready to step in with better deals. Unlike Western corporations focused on quarterly profits, Chinese firms can offer long-term strategic partnerships backed by state resources. If the U.S. responds with threats instead of fair negotiations, it risks pushing Jamaica and other nations into China's economic orbit permanently. The world is changing faster than ever, and most people are asleep while the real power moves happen behind the scenes. This isn't just about Trump or Jamaica, it's about your future. What's your take? Should resource-rich nations like Jamaica and Trinidad defy traditional powers to secure better deals? Or is this a risky move that could backfire? Drop your hottest take in the comments below. The revolution in global power isn't just coming, it's here. Will you be on the right side of history when the dust settles? The world is waking up, will you?